as Hajra, the CMD of SCI, joins us on the show from New Delhi. Good having Mr. Hajra. Thanks so much for joining in. And the moot question, almost 80% off from the Feb lows is Baltic Dry. Is this an indicator of recovery in trade, and is it shaping up for companies such as yours?
No, I would not like to say so, because the fundamentals in the dry bulk and liquid bulk, they are not strong because the supply is still outpacing demand. And what you are talking about recovery is really from the lowest of the low, the February figure that you are talking about. Because as you recall, in 2008, middle of 2008, May 2008, we had the BDI at 11,700, and it had dropped down to 660 by December, and then February this year also, that was the kind of figure that we had. 647, I think, was the lowest ever recorded. So if you are talking about recovery from that, it is hardly any recovery. And as far as dry bulk is concerned, the entire 2012 projection is that the supply will grow at about 10-11%, whereas the demand will grow at about 8%. So still, as I said, the growth in supply is higher than the growth in demand, and as it is, there is a mismatch between demand and supply, too many ships chasing too little cargo. So obviously, till the time this situation improves, and which I don't think will really improve before middle of 2013, because 2013 onwards, the delivery of ships will decline dramatically, because from 2009 onwards, there have been very, very few ships ordered. So only from middle of 2013, we can really hope for some revival.
Mr. Hajra, morning. So what is your outlook for global trade in FY13? Will the weakness continue, and will the oversupply of capacity continue to plague the industry?
Yes, of course, it will definitely continue, because as I am saying that virtually in all segments other than in container, where the demand and supply is expected to be more or less matched in 2012, the demand will be around 6%, even the supply growth will possibly be around 6.5% or thereabout. So it's not much difference between the demand and supply growth. But other than that, dry bulk and crude, both the supply will really outpace the demand even in 2012. For the for the tanker, it's not as bad, because the demand is expected to grow at about maybe 3.5% or so. The supply is expected to grow at about 4%, 4.5%. But as far as dry bulk is concerned, as I already mentioned, the supply growth will continue to be in double digit in 2012, whereas the demand growth could be at best about 7.5%, 8%. So definitely situation will not improve in 2012-13 either.
Market rumors, Mr. Hajra, are indicating that SCI would hike freight rates for cargo to West Asia. Is this true?
No, I firstly do not call these freight hikes. We call these rate restoration, because rates are even lower than what it used to be 5 years back. So there is no rate hike, but yes, from the real nadir of rates that we had reached a couple of years back, we are trying to restore the rates to some extent. And as I said, because there have been discipline amongst the container giants, the demand and supply situation in containerized segment at least is much better. We are getting very good utilization of the tonnage capacity that we are placing in virtually all the segments. Why only towards Far East Asia? It is also towards Europe, Mediterranean. Every segment we are seeing good utilization of our slots, and definitely we find that every line is trying to increase the rates, because obviously they find that the rates at which they were operating, they were just not sustainable in the long run. Just to try to get a little bit of more market share, the container giants were lowering their rates and were operating at level which definitely almost was harakiri for themselves. So we have seen that in 2011, container giants have all lost to the extent of $300, $400, $500, $600 million. So definitely we hope, as I said, in 2012, container operators will continue to have their self-discipline, and therefore the situation will definitely be better in 2012 vis-a-vis 2011.